The Philadelphia 76ers are heading into the new season with enormous expectations after bringing LeBron James into a roster already loaded with star power. The arrival of the NBA legend has immediately changed the team's profile, but the biggest question is how much his presence can transform the players around him. With Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe representing the future, and Jaylen Brown and Joel Embiid bringing proven talent and experience, Philadelphia has the pieces to make a serious championship push. Behind the scenes, the organization is also undergoing a major cultural transformation, with Bob Myers and Mike Gansey playing important roles in reshaping the franchise, and with LeBron already building chemistry with his new teammates. The Sixers could be preparing for one of the most fascinating seasons in the NBA.
My mind immediately goes to the young guys. When you look at VJ, you look at Tyrese Maxey. I mean, these are future stars of the NBA. And the amount of knowledge, the amount of information that you're going to gain from a guy like LeBron. We know that he's going to elevate your play, but it's the mentality. It's teaching you how to work. It's teaching you how to be a better take care or whatever of your body, right? Every single day. He teaches you how to be a pro's pro. I got a chance to spend some time with BJ last week. We had Baylor at our alma mater, and he was so ecstatic. He was walking around with an extra step, with an extra chip in his step, because he was that level of happy that he got a guy like LeBron James, one of the greatest to ever do it, if not the greatest to ever do it, to be able to learn from day in, day out. And we just saw the graphic of the young guys that LeBron has been able to mentor. So now when you take VJ, when you take Tyrese Maxey, if I was those two, I'd be ecstatic as well.
Imagine you're VJ and you just had the sensational year that you had at such a young age, and you realize you get to learn from LeBron James. Perk, you've seen it firsthand. Just how much better does LeBron James make his teammates?
Oh, go ask J.R. Smith. Go ask our very own Iman Shumpert. Go ask Kyrie Irving. Matter of fact, go ask Kevin Love. Like, do we remember Kevin Love with the Minnesota Timberwolves? Wow. Yes, he was putting up numbers, but look at his body, right? Look at the change in his body, his health, his mindset, right? Like knowing. And when you share a locker room with LeBron, you know what you see what's happening. You see him there for being the first guy at the gym. You see him stand late after the thing. You see how he's one of the first to arrive to the arena, how he gets massages before the games, how everything across the board, and he teaches you how not only to sacrifice and to learn how to be a professional, but he also teaches you routine, right? And that's the biggest thing that these young guys are going to learn, especially VJ Edgecombe and Tyrese Maxey, is they're going to grow and learn from this. Past these 2 years or however long LeBron James is going to be in the Philadelphia uniform, they're going to learn down the line, and they're going to look up and cherish these moments, whether they win the championship or not, or what LeBron did for them. Go ask the regrets Kyrie Irving had when he left and asked for a trade up out of Cleveland. And he said one thing, if he had to change one thing, he wouldn't have never left, because of the effect and what LeBron brings to the table.
It's a great point. All right, for kind of a bigger picture perspective, Slater, you spent years with Bob Myers in Golden State, and when this happened, my mind went to Bob Myers did again, right? Like, he got Kevin Durant to come to Golden State, and here he is, huge in helping LeBron get to Philadelphia. What impact has he already kind of had in his short time with the Sixers in that front office?
Yeah, you know, when we talk about a culture reset, and we're talking about it, you know, through the LeBron James lens, but I go back a summer when I heard Bob Myers leaving this network, taking over an overseeing role in Philadelphia. I went back in my mind to the times I covered the Rockets Warriors series, and if you were around those teams like I were, you knew the differing personalities of a Bob Myers compared to a Daryl Morey, and immediately you thought the clock might be ticking on the Daryl Morey era. Ultimately, it was, and to me, this summer was Bob Myers hitting fast forward on a full cultural reset. Obviously, LeBron James is a huge piece of that. Jaylen Brown, I mean, we're talking about a guy with routine and habits and takes care of his body. So you look at those two now leading the organization. I think Mike Gansey, from what I've heard, has a very similar personality to a Bob Myers, why he was hired by Bob Myers. So those are four major personalities, I think, that are fully resetting the Sixers from I'm saying the Joel Embiid, Daryl Morey era. I know Joel Embiid's still there, but I think they're kind of moving past the culture that was part of Joel Embiid.
Yeah, 100%, because Jaylen Brown, let's not forget, he's also a winner. So we talk about teaching people how to win, right? Jaylen Brown can also mentor these young guys and teach them how to be able to win in moments where it matters the most. So you have both of those guys, right? And that can sprinkle to Joel Embiid. Even though Embiid's been in the league longer than a guy like Jaylen Brown, Jaylen Brown is still a winner, and let's not sleep on that fact.
Yep, a lot of personalities, a lot of winners. Hopefully they can stay healthy. It's going to be an interesting season for sure. All right, coming up on NBA Today, happy 20 the T-Wolves traded for LaMelo this offseason, but does that cement them as one of the best backcourts alongside Ant? We debate it right here on NBA Today. All right, according to Fanatics, the LeBron James Philadelphia 76ers jersey has surpassed Shohei Ohtani for the most jerseys sold within the first 48 hours of a player switching teams. Wow. Safe to say LeBron is ready for the city of brotherly love. The 41-year-old's decision to sign with Philly had some prior connections when you look back at it. Check out this photo from 25 years ago. New president of the 76ers, Mike Gansey, and LeBron were both Northeast Ohio school basketball stars. Gansey, of course, now 43 years old, went on and worked for the Cavs for 15 years. They won that 2016 title together as well. And speaking of Gansey, he threw out the first pitch last night at the Philadelphia Phillies game. He joined their broadcast in the third inning and spoke about how they signed one of the best players to ever play the game. Take a listen.
I called Rich right away and said, hey, like, we got Jaylen. Is there a chance LeBron want to come to us? And, you know, obviously they said, yeah, you know, this changes some things. So they talked about it. And then obviously the whole process of whatever, 3 weeks or whatever it went, they were doing all their due diligence with LeBron and, you know, talking to all our players and other teams and, you know, their representation and stuff. So it was, yeah, it was a long process, but yeah, we don't get LeBron without Jaylen, that's for sure.
Well, Mike's had a good couple weeks now, welcoming in one of LeBron's former teammates, NBA champ Kendrick Perkins. I'm Vanessa Richardson, in for Malika Andrews. Perk, what's your reaction to what Mike Gansey had to say about the recruitment of LeBron James?
Well, I mean, I wish it was a moment for us to have a previously on NBA Today, because I've been saying this since it happened, that Jaylen Brown was the piece that actually moved the needle. But again, you think of, every time I think of someone making these comments and talking about the 76ers and you think that they could possibly go on and win the championship, I always got to think about the Boston Celtics and Brad Stevens. Like, this is going to be tied to them for the rest of the, I mean, for the history of the NBA. It's going to be tied to them for the simple fact that not only did you trade an all-NBA caliber player to a rivalry team, but now you know that was the deciding factor to land arguably the greatest player to ever play the game that is still playing at an all-NBA level that possibly could go out and win the championship. If the 76ers go on to win the NBA championship with LeBron James and Jaylen Brown, it will stain the Boston Celtics forever, for the rest of the NBA history totality, that this will go down as arguably the decision for LeBron James.
And when we think of the decision with LeBron James, we usually think of another decision. But yeah, certainly people shocked that Brad Stevens made that move. But by the way, here's more from Mike Gansey on what else drew LeBron to Philly and what fans should expect this season.
I think the reason why he came is Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid, Jaylen Brown.
Don't sell yourself short.
So
don't sell yourself short, buddy.
Our ownership's incredible. Bob Myers, Nick Nurse. So I think just like top to bottom in the alignment in our organization, I think probably sold it. I don't think Philly knows what they're getting because he's special, and our games are going to be, every game he plays in, it's just like a different atmosphere that you just can't replace or can't replicate.
In those 3 playoff games, 49 for 138. That's pitiful. We know that their offensive line last year was decimated. They had me out there. They could have put me out there. I would have been just as good as some of the people they had playing for them last year, all right? Pressured 48 times on 127 dropbacks. That's like a ridiculous rate. It's almost 40%. So the guy is running for his life. Again, the question is, are they putting too much on him? Since Justin went to the Chargers in 2020, all right? They're 22nd in total rushing attempts as a team. So they haven't run the football a whole lot.
Much.
Okay, they haven't run the football a whole lot.
That
Again,
goes back to Brandon Staley. It started with him.
It's on him. Now, I will say this, the Chiefs are even lower. They're 25th, okay, in total rushing attempts. So what you're saying is, hey, they put it on Patrick. He's developed, but again, there's more to this, all right? They have not been top 25 in they're not top 25 in rushing yards. They're not top 25 in rushing average. They're not top 25 in rushing TDs. None of those categories. So basically, it's been his show. Now, since he's come into the league, he's 4th in passing yards. He's 2nd in passing attempts. So they're putting it all on him. They're saying, Justin, we're not giving you a whole lot of help. This is what Mike is talking about. We have to take some of the pressure off of him. He's had Keenan Allen, he's had Ladd McConkey, he's had Mike Williams. So he's had some decent weapons on the perimeter. But it's been very much so Justin-centric. We don't have a running game. Offensive line gets hurt. Every year we talk about the Chargers and the fact that we think they're one of the better rosters. And they do a nice job of doing things in the offseason to help him and try and round this thing out. And last year they had one of the best defenses. But they just haven't been able to supplement him. That's what Mike's talking about.
Go ahead, Joe.
Doggy, I'm with you. This just falls in line with more excuses we make it for Justin Herbert. If he needs time, that's fine. But every time y'all get a chance, stop going to the mountaintop and screaming, he's a top 5 talent! Top 5 talent does not make you a top 5 quarterback, okay? Did Joe Burrow not get sacked 10 times in a playoff game and still win the game? Yeah. All right, so I'm not trying to hear that, oh, it was his O-line or it was this, it was that. If y'all need to give him time, then stop every chance you get saying, oh, he's a top 5 talent, he's this, he's that. We need to see it. It's time to see it. We've seen anybody else they talk about, as much as they talk about Justin Herbert, we've seen some semblance of it.
Well, let me ask you this question. In the playoff games, 0-3 in playoff games, hasn't won a playoff game in 6 years. Only complete 55% of his passes. What is it, 2 touchdown passes, 5 turnovers in the playoffs, right? Even though he's had 3 double-digit win seasons, here's the reality. This is last season alone. Sacked 54 times, third most in the National Football League. Hit 129 times, most in the NFL. Pressures 263 times, most in the NFL. As a former defensive tackle, you see numbers like that. Pressures, hits. Isn't your mentality, I don't give a damn how great he is. If we could get to him, it ain't gonna matter. Isn't that the mentality? And if so, doesn't that kind of absolve him to some degree, knowing that kind of heat is coming his way because his offensive line was that weak?
Yeah, absolutely. But his offensive line was that weak. That's the excuse we had last year. But there's a lot of times where quarterbacks, and I learned this from playing D-line, going against offensive linemen, and talking to Kurt Warner. There's a lot of times where QBs get sacked from holding the ball too much.
That's true.
Like we seen Caleb Williams get sacked a lot because he just running around.
But I'm asking you, is that Justin Herbert?
Yes.
Does he hold on to the ball too much?
There's times where we thinking like, what are you doing? Get the ball out your hand.
Yeah,
what are you doing?
There are times, and look, and you know this too, to be fair to Justin Herbert, there are times where we sit there and we're watching the game on TV and we're going, get the ball out. And then when we break it down and we look at it, there's nowhere to get the ball out to. There's nowhere to go. And so he's sitting there going, hey, look, I can either take this sack here or I'm going to try and make something happen because I'll tell you this, I'm not getting a whole lot of help running the football. We're not a real balanced offense. I know it's all on me. So then it kind of becomes like the things that start to compound, right? You start trying to do way too much. You're holding the football too long. Now you're giving up sacks. Your offensive line stinks anyway because it keeps getting hurt and keeps getting banged up. Look, what I'm not doing is I'm not absolving Justin Herbert for some of the poor performances, especially in the postseason. I'm not absolving him. The things that he can control, he has to control better. What Mike is saying is the things that we can help him with, we have to help him with better. Players have to stay healthy. I mean, they lost their entire offensive line last year. They just did. If you're not calling run plays, if you're 22nd in rush attempts since he's been there, if you're in the bottom half, the bottom third of the league, that is telling you we're saying this. This is on you more so than it is on a complimentary offense.
Let me throw this question to you. You got Slater and Alt expected to be back healthy.
Right.
Obviously considered arguably the best tackle duo
in the
National Football League, right?
Sure.
But you did let go of your 2 guards. So I ask you again, is this going to potentially be an excuse that they're going to lean on when it talks about the offensive line being able to protect Justin Herbert? Is that going to be a factor this upcoming season?
You know what? See, I don't like to use the word excuses. I like to use, you know what? Look, there are reasons for quarterback performance being affected by pressure. There just are. I mean, when that happens, it happens. Look, there are certain guys, because of the fact that Justin hasn't been to the mountaintop, that we're not going to give him any slack right now until he does something that's extraordinary that allows us to then say, you know what, I'm going to extend him some grace because, quite honestly, things are falling apart around him. Look, it happened. Look, in Kansas City, right? Because of how successful Patrick has been in Cincinnati, because of how good Joe has been, because we know he has been sacked at an unmerciful rate, but still made it to a Super Bowl.
Okay.
He still hasn't won one, but we give him some grace.
Let me ask this question. I'm going to go to Doggy first, but this question is for all 3 of y'all. Is it likely that the Chargers with Kansas City and Denver are going to finish in 3rd place, or is it possible? Likely or possible? Your thoughts, Doggy.
I think it's a 3rd place team. And I'm glad you brought up the other playoff game because I think that has to be mentioned. They had a 27-0 lead against Jacksonville. You want to blame it on Staley, as Stevie has? I get it. He's not on the team playing. You want to blame it on the defense? I get that too. Can you be in a situation where your quarterback makes a play or 2 in the second half to shut everybody down?
I hear you.
That's my point.
Yeah, I think it's likely. I think Denver wins the division, Kansas City will bounce back, and they'll be 3rd.
Yeah, I think it's likely as well. And I think do not discount the Raiders' improvement this year.
Oh, Lord. That's where we going. Fine taking those guys.
You gotta stop coming at the Raiders.
I'm just saying. I gotta
have a back. Somebody gotta have a back out here, man.
Listen, I love my man Tom Brady. I interviewed Spy Tech. I'm looking for him. I'm looking forward to watching him play. But I think it's a little bit too soon to have any expectations for the Raiders.
I'm just talking about like not finishing last.
Well, that's an expectation. I'm just saying. Coming up, it's another year, another new offense for Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles. But is Philly the biggest unknown in the NFC?
LeBron's biggest impact on Philadelphia may not even come from his scoring or playmaking. His ability to teach young players how to prepare, take care of their bodies, build routines, and approach every game like a professional could have a huge effect on BJ Edgecombe and Tyrese Maxey. Those lessons could continue benefiting them long after LeBron eventually leaves the team. The examples of players like Kevin Love, Kyrie Irving, J.R. Smith, and Iman Shumpert make this especially interesting. LeBron has consistently influenced teammates beyond the basketball court, and Philadelphia now has several young players who can experience that influence every day. If Maxey and Edgecombe absorb those habits, that development could accelerate significantly. I also think Jaylen Brown deserves a lot of attention in this story. Philadelphia's own leadership has essentially confirmed that LeBron would not have arrived without Brown being acquired first. Brown gives the Sixers another player who understands what winning requires, and having both him and LeBron around the younger players creates a powerful combination of experience and leadership. The presence of Bob Myers is another reason I believe this could be bigger than just a talented roster. Myers has experience building championship cultures, and his influence alongside LeBron, Brown, and Mike Gansey could represent a genuine change in how Philadelphia operates. The organization appears to be moving toward a culture centered on professionalism, preparation, and winning. The connection to Boston also makes this story even more fascinating. If Philadelphia eventually wins a championship with LeBron and Brown, the Celtics will always be reminded that the Brown trade helped create that possibility. That could become one of the most talked about decisions in the league if the Sixers actually reach the top.